थोड़ा
नॉइज आ रहा है, एग्जिट करूँ?
एग्जिट ये निकल के भी
बात कर सकती हूँ, चलेगा ना?
हाँ अकेले ना
इफ इट इज
हाँ नॉइज आ रही थी मनोज ने भी बोला था कि आपके वहाँ पे ठीक है एक्सेस ये वो जो हेडसेट का वो
अच्छा ओके ठीक है। अगर बाद में मैं ऑडिबल नहीं हूँ तो फिर मुझे बताइए, तब मैं लगाऊंगी, है ना? हेलो।
Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Mona Sinha, Professor and HOD at Department of Management Studies, Bharati Vidyapeeth. On behalf of the organizing committee of the International Conference, Minds 2025 of Department of Management Studies, it is my pleasure to welcome you to this pre-conference workshop on research methodology, which is in collaboration with Southern Cross University, Australia. Our conference is scheduled on the 4th and 5th of April, and the theme of the conference is Inflection Points in the Changing Business Landscape. This conference has 8 tracks and a doctoral colloquium. Today's workshop has been organized with the aim of providing inputs on, number one, understanding the basic techniques of literature review, bibliometric analysis, and content analysis. Number two, to focus on research publishing in Scopus Index and Web of Science journals. And number three, to understand the intricacies of quantitative side of a research. And for this, we have an exciting lineup of speakers. We have Dr. Hippu Nathan, who is an engineer turned development researcher from IIT Delhi, associated with the London School of Economics and many prestigious institutes, and presently a professor at IRMA. We have Dr. Evelina Brajesh, who is a PhD from BITS Mesra and who will guide us in structuring the literature review part. And we also have Professor Ajay Saraf, who will throw insights on the tools which should be used for statistical analysis in research papers. We are thrilled to see so many enthusiastic participants from diverse backgrounds gathered here today and hope you will contribute for the international conference Minds 2025, in which we have tied up with publishers for Scopus, Web of Science, and UGC Care journals. Without further ado, let us get started for today's workshop. Now I will hand over the session to Dr. Neha Sharma. Thank you.
Good morning, all of you, and a very hearty welcome to this pre-conference workshop, which is a precursor to Minds 2025, an international conference and doctoral colloquium to be held on 4th and 5th of April 2025. I'm honored to introduce to you the first speaker of the day, Dr. Evelina Brajesh. She is working as an assistant professor with Department of Management Studies, Bharati Vidyapeeth, deemed to be University Navi Mumbai. She brings with her a decade of rich experience in teaching and research. She has taught a wide array of subjects, including marketing management, research methods, marketing analytics, and design thinking. Dr. Evelina's academic contributions include Scopus and Web of Science Index publications. She today will be presenting on Unlocking Insights, Mastering Bibliometric Analysis with Biblioshiny. Can I please have Dr. Evelina?
Thank you, Dr. Neha. Thank you for the generous introduction. A very good morning to everyone present in the meeting. Specifically, I would welcome all the senior faculties. Good morning, Dr. Roy. Good morning, Dr. Mona Sinha. Good morning, all the dear faculty members and all the participants. I'm glad to conduct this workshop on bibliometric analysis. So before going hands-on, let us set the context of this particular workshop. See, everyone who is present in this meeting, I'm sure you have some understanding about literature review. And we as researchers, we all understand that LR or literature review is one of the most important things to be done within the research context. In fact, if I do not exaggerate, almost 60% of our total research work constitutes of literature review. So why it is so important? When we talk about literature review, whether we are looking for the research gap or whether we are trying to understand about the methodologies which are used by the previous researchers, or whether we want to understand by which samples are already studied, or in which country, in which scenario the study has already been done, everything can be understood only and only through literature review. But at the same time, we know that with our given human capacity, if we are able to identify, just imagine a scenario where you have probably got 200, 500, maybe more than 500 relevant articles, related to the study. Now, in our human capacity, is it possible for us to read each and every document which is important to be read and understood? It is not, isn't it? So at the same time, we need to understand, and especially today in the digital era, we have so many apps, we have so many tools available. At this at this point, when we are not able to do everything, even with our best human capacity, we want to use certain tools and certain apps which will help us understand about the literature comprehensively. And believe me, when you will look at this tool, you will see that whatever we can do with the traditional LR, there is much more that we can achieve and do through using these apps and using these tools. Okay, so yeah, am I audible properly?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay, thank you. Fine. So I will first of all, before going hands-on, I will once again explain the installation process, because I believe some people are still struggling with installation. So I will first of all guide you once again for installation. So according to the already shared document, the first website that you are supposed to access is this one, CRAN R project. Okay, so from here you have to download R for Windows, or if you are using a Mac, according to your system specification, you have to download it. So usually I think most of us would be downloading R for Windows, and from here you can install R for the first time. Since I have already installed, I'm not going to click it. All of you can do that.
Please share the screen.
And whatever prompts are coming.
Madam, please share the screen.
Okay, yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes. I will share the screen just now. Is it visible now? Is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let us look at the installation process once again. The first website you have to access is CRAN R project. Okay, so from here we have to download R for Windows, or according to whichever system you are having. If you are using Linux or Mac, you have to do the selection accordingly. Then you have to install R for the first time. Since I have already done it, I'm not clicking this. Okay, and whatever prompts are coming, just accept that. Keep accepting that to the point that it shows you finish. Just before the finishing point, it will also ask you if you want a shortcut to be added. You can choose that. You can select that for your convenience. Okay. I hope it is done. So we can move to the next step. The next we have to install our studio. Sorry. Yes, so it takes you to the POSIT website, right? From here, you have to click on the open source, because it's an open source software. So here In open source, you have to go to RStudio IDE. Just click that. Fine. Scroll down. So when you scroll down, you see the free version. Okay. So you can download RStudio from here. We only need the free version. We do not need the pro version for this. Okay. Again, after downloading this, whatever prompts are coming, just keep accepting that. And then we have the third website, which is Bibliometrics. Okay. Yes. Now, this is a very important website. This is important because from here you can understand the tutorial in detail. See, under the package tutorial, if you see, all the options are given. For Biblioshiny, which we are going to cover today, Biblioshiny tutorial is also given here. You can go and read it in detail. Okay. Biblioshiny tutorials. Introduction to Biblioshiny. Yes. This is very important to be seen. So here, Biblioshiny actually a web-hosted app which was developed by Massimo Aria and Corrado Cucurulo, and they have been improvising it every now and then. The last time when I used it, it was in I think 21-22. The interface was completely different, but now if I see Biblioshiny, the interface has changed completely. So my focus in today's workshop is to explain the functionality. The challenge in using Biblioshiny basically happens at 2-3 places. The first, obviously, is in installation. The second will be, in having your data, because we need data either from Scopus or from Web of Science or maybe Dimension or PubMed. These are the databases from where you can get your basic data, which can be used in Biblioshiny. So if I talk about the challenges, I think understanding the interface is the challenge. Doing the analysis is not so much of a challenge because the options are done really well. But obviously, like any other software, we need to practice it a bit. So those people who are not able to do it hands-on along with me, please do not panic. Believe me, if you have done the installation, you'll be able to do it. Just try to understand the process properly. Okay. So if we look at the Bibliometrics is the tool which aligns with Biblioshiny, and we can run the analysis in that. So as we see that here, the main reason why we are using Biblioshiny is because we want to process huge amount of data, humongous data we want to process, right? So for that, obviously a tool is required, for which Biblioshiny is a very good tool. When we talk about bibliometric analysis can be done by many other tools, like we have in vivo software, we have WAS Viewer, but I particularly find Biblioshiny as one of the most interesting tools because the kind of output that it gives you, it is really fascinating and insightful. So we will explore that today. Now, I'll not explain each and every slide which is given here. I'll just tell you what all is important for you to know now. Okay. So this shows the environment, how we are supposed to set up the R environment, and in this R environment, the Biblioshiny app will work and will give us all the insights that we want. Okay. Now, these are the main bibliographic databases. As we see, we know that if we talk about multidisciplinary databases, Microsoft Academic is there, Crossref, Dimension, Open LXR is there, Web of Science and Scopus, obviously we all use a lot. And there are certain specialized databases as well. So all these databases can actually be accessed, directly in the Biblioshiny, but I will really not recommend you to do that because there are certain limitations. For example, if you are accessing data from Web of Science, then you cannot access more than 500 files at once. So, and obviously, if you are doing a detailed research, you will have more than 500 files, right? And the second reason why I do not recommend you to directly import the data in Biblioshiny is because we need to clean the data. Once we download the data, data cleaning is required. As a researcher, we always try to get information and get articles from all the relevant databases. So it is possible for me as a researcher that I am getting some papers from Web of Science, some from Scopus, maybe some from PubMed also, or maybe Dimension or Crossref. So what I'm supposed to do, I have to combine all the data and I have to clean the data in a way that there is no data duplication. The same article should not appear more than one time, okay? Because if it happens, it will impact the output or the result. Now let us understand what is exactly metadata related to the bibliographic publications. Bibliographic publication is any publication which is a publication related to a scientific study. And when we look at an article like here, if you see, there are so many things that we can pick up from here, right? From the name of the journal to the title, to the abstract, to the author, like when it was published, and what are the references which are used here, which citations appear here, what is the timeline, which themes it is dealing with, what are the keywords. There's so many things which can be called as metadata of this particular paper. Now just imagine the same amount of metadata coming from maybe 500 or 1000 papers. Can we process all that without the help of a tool? It is not possible, right? That is why we are going to learn about this tool. Now coming to Biblioshiny. Biblioshiny supports these databases. Just have a look at these databases, and these are the file formats. This is very important. Please note that if you are exporting data from Web of Science, it has to be in plain text format. If you are getting data from Scopus, it has to be in the BibTeX format, right? If it is from Dimensions, it has to be a CSV or XLSX, right? Similarly, for other databases, we have a certain set of format which is already given over there. And when you are downloading the data, if at all your intention is to do a bibliometric analysis, you will need to get the data in these particular formats, right? So here they have shown an example from Web of Science, okay? And these are the labels of the metadata, like AU means authors, AF is author's full name, TI is title, SO is document source. Now you can refer back to this document every time when you are using Biblioshiny, right? So that you get a clarity as to what exactly is happening there, okay? Again, like I told you, there are some limits to the databases, how much you can export. So if you are going to export probably 1000 files, then you need to do it in 2 lots, okay, or more than that. So just read this before you do it, okay? Now this tells about querying a bibliographic database. I think when it comes to querying and when it comes to getting the basic data, which is obviously in the form of articles coming from any source, or maybe book chapters, or maybe any conference related publication, we just need to understand that it has to come in the right format and it has to be cleaned before it is processed, right? So after this, I think there is not much that I would like to explain here. I would like to go hands-on and then explain things, because these things we want to see on the app itself. Okay. So let us. So those who have got the softwares installed, just search RStudio Okay, and you can click open it. Right now, RStudio brings you to this console, right, where you can see a prompt. Now here in this prompt, please again refer to the shared document. Okay, there is, see, the instructions also are written here that you are supposed to open RStudio, and in the command console you have to paste the metrics. And just enter it. It will show you some warning, but don't worry about that. Okay. Again, we will go back to the document. We will run the next command, which is library. Enter that. Okay. Now, here, if you see, it tells you that it is a software which is open source, and they tell you that if at all you are using this tool, you must mention the authors, M. Maria and Cucurullo. You must mention them, otherwise it will be taken as a breach. Okay. Now the next is you have to key in the next command, which is Biblioshiny, to access the Biblioshiny app. See, it should take you to Biblioshiny. Yes. So this is the Biblioshiny interface, right? Here in the Biblioshiny also, here they have given the link. I will recommend all of you to go through this paper by Arya and Cucurullo, because they have explained about bibliometric analysis very nicely in this paper. So if you read that paper, it will be very good for you. Now here, when you come, you can see the screen is very clean. You just have to click on data and import or load data. So as we have already seen, you can import raw files directly from the databases, either from Scopus or Web of Science, but it is not recommendable because we ideally need to clean the file. It will show you errors if you are importing it directly, and if you are ready to correct those errors time and again, you can choose to import the raw files, but I will suggest you to download all the files on your system and then upload the files from there, right? So if you already have those files, you can load those files, you can choose the files, right? But here I am using a sample collection which is already hosted on this website, because I just want to explain the process and the functionality of Biblioshiny. So I'm using a sample collection of data which is already hosted on this app. Okay. Now, what is this data all about? This data set is the central keyword for this data set is management, and it is a collection of scientific articles about the use of bibliometric approaches in business and management disciplines between the period of 1985 to 2020. So almost 35 years data we are having. This is from Web of Science actually. So let us start now. See, it has listed all the data. Just look at the bottom of the screen. It is showing 1 to 3 of 898 entries, meaning there are 898 entries which are related to this topic. Okay. And here each row corresponds to each article, and each column is about the metadata. We had just seen what is a metadata, right? So it is detailed data about one particular article. So each row is about one article, and each column is about the metadata. Now, here we have the option of merging the collections also, but then there could be complexities. So my recommendation to you would be have all the files on your system, directly upload it and then use it, because that will not make the things complex otherwise. Now let us try to understand about the filter. Here, it is showing you the number of documents. As we have seen, the total number of documents is 898 of all the documents are listed here. The publication years, as we have seen, the language is English. All the articles are in English only. Okay, the publication year between 1985 to 2020. The document type is being shown here, and the average citation per year is listed here. Now, if we don't want to use all the data, and probably I'm interested to take the data only for the last 10 years, okay, I can choose that from here. Yes, right. So I want to look at data because as researchers, we usually want to refer to those research studies which are done, in the recent times. So I'm taking 10 years, apply. So it is listing. Now it is listing only 769 entries. That tells us that most of the work has been done recently only, isn't it? In the last 10 years. Okay. Now let us try to get an overview. So under overview, we can check the main information. Okay. So it is showing you the sources. How many sources? The data is coming from 271 sources. Total number of documents is 769. Annual growth rate is very high. Okay. Co-authors per doc is 3.04. International co-authorship. So it is showing you the data, the basic main information. You can get it in the form of a table also. Okay. Next, you can check the annual scientific production. Now, as we have seen, the bibliometric analysis, because the data collected here is related to bibliometric analysis only. So we can see that it has actually grown in the recent years, isn't it? Okay. Again, for this, you can check a table. Yeah. Also, from here, you can download whatever you are seeing, whichever plot or graph is coming on the screen, you can simply export that as a PNG. Okay, through this. Next is average citations per year. So you can know about the citation data as well, right? Also, you can go for a 3-field plot. Okay, so 3-field plots, as you see here, we are supposed to do selections here. See, the options are coming here. So the middle field is about the authors, the left field is about the references, and the right field is about the keywords. So the thickness of the link tells you about like how many authors have basically used which keywords and in which journal they have published. Okay, so that gives you a comprehensively good idea about your area of study. Now again, here you can play along to get the best graph. So for example, if I want to know maybe about the countries, in which country it is happening, and probably the left field would be the sources and countries, and the right is keyword. Okay, and then we can again apply. Yeah, so it will give you. So here I just recommend that you play along with it, try to understand, and you can get such types of plots which explain the relationship among these 3 parameters that you have taken. Okay. Now going to the next option, which is sources. Now again, here we can identify one more thing which I want to mention here is, now during filter, we have filtered the last 10 years data. So whatever I'm showing you now, that is happening only on this 10 years data. Okay, the local data that I have selected, right? So whatever plots we are getting, whatever graphs we are getting, it is only for these 10 years. If you want to get it for the whole data, then you do not need to do this specific selection. Okay. Now, sources, most relevant sources, which are the most relevant sources. So, yes, so it gives us the name of the sources which have been publishing in this area. Like we see technological forecasting and social change, research policy, Journal of Business Research. These are the leading sources. Again, you can get it in the form of a table as well. Now, most local cited sources. So local cited means that whatever data we are having here locally within the app now. So which one among them, which one is the most cited source? So Scientometrics is the most cited. RES policy is the second one. And here it is the third one, which was the first in the most relevant source. But when it comes to citations, it has come at the third position. Okay. Now, the next is Bradford's law. So, Bradford's law, as you can see here, it basically tells you about, importance of those small number of journals who are responsible for giving you maximum number of relevant articles, like the graph shows you. Here we see that only roughly we can say that 3 or 4 journals are giving us the maximum number of inputs, right? So that is what the Bradford law tells you, right? It is basically, so those of us who understand the concept of diminishing returns, it is based on that same concept, right? For this, again, you can get a table also. Okay, it shows you the rank, the frequency, the cumulative frequency, everything is shown here, right? And those journals, if you click the next, those journals which are not giving you too many relevant articles, they are in zone 2, then it is in zone 3, it will be like that. Okay, then coming to sources local impact. So according to the local impact, it is technological forecasting and social change is leading, followed by research policy and Journal of Business Research. Okay, for the same, I'm not creating table again and again, and I hope you have understood the process and you can do it yourself. Then sources production over time. Yeah, this is important. Yeah. How these particular journals have performed, over time, with the timestamp it is showing you. Okay. Then, according to authors. Now, who are the most relevant authors according to the data that we have, data set that we have selected? Who is the most relevant author? J. Merigo. Now, this is particularly important because many times if we are just randomly doing literature review, and it is much possible that we have not been able to find out some of the relevant authors or some of the relevant articles. So this will help you find it out. Okay, it will also tell you the number of documents that they have published in a particular field. Okay, so 20 followed by 15. Okay, then most local cited authors. Who is the most local cited author? So yeah, citation wise, J. Merigo is having highest, but Cater T is the second one. Okay, so this also will give you a lot of insight as to which paper you are supposed to refer to, right? Then coming to the next, author's production over time. How an author has, yeah, here. So this basically tells you about how an author has, how is their research journey in that particular field. So if we talk about J. Merigo, we see that he first published in 2015 and the number of article was 1. Again, it was one only in 2016. Then he has given 4 articles in 2017. Now, S. Kumar, we see that he has not started early, but he started late. He started in 2020, but he has given the number of articles he has given is 15 in 1 year only. So that also tells you about author's production over time. Okay, so through this also you can understand which authors you want to refer to. Now next is Lotka's law. So Lotka's law basically describes the productivity among the authors, right? How like here we can see that only few authors are highly productive, right? Other authors have given only a few articles, whereas there are just few who are the most productive. So if you create a table, you will be able to understand. See, so one article is given by 1620, but if as the number of articles increase, we know that the number of authors would be very less. Number of one document is written by these many authors, but when it comes to 10 documents, one. When it comes to 9 documents, one. So what we see that, so Lotka's law basically tells you that only a limited number of authors would be contributing maximum towards that particular subject. Again, understanding the author's local impact. Yeah. So the impact measurement, it is showing you the H value, right? Okay. So from here also you can choose and select which authors you want to cite. Now the next is on affiliation. So affiliation wise also we can get the data. So most relevant affiliations, let us see which universities have worked maximum. So we see that University of Chile has worked maximum, right? They have given 28 articles, whereas Georgia Institute of Technology has given 18, right? University of Tokyo has given 17, and so on and so forth, right? Affiliations production over time. So how is the production over time? So it is possible that some universities started late, but they are doing very well. Like here we can see for University of Chile. Yeah, it started late. It started in 2015, but see, the output is maximum, right? So this is telling us about the affiliations production over time. Now we can also look at the data country-wise, corresponding authors' countries. Yes. So as we see, this gives us collaboration data as well. So SCP is when there is only single country publication, MCP is multiple country publication. So we see that USA is collaborating at maximum places, right? Followed by China, Brazil, Spain, Italy, and India here. I think we are on the 9th position. Yes, we are on the 9th position, but we have also produced we have produced single documents which are 17 in number, and 8 documents in collaboration. Okay, now if you want to collaborate with the authors, this data is important for you. You can get it in the form of a table as well. Yeah, country scientific production. Yes, this is a very nice representation, because it will show you. It's a dynamic map which will tell you. So the darker the color, the maximum number of articles have come from here. So we know that USA has given 296, right? Followed by China, Brazil, Australia, India, and those that are gray, no articles have come from there. When you are creating a bibliometric paper, you can give all that, along with the data label. You should be taking screenshots, right? And then you should be giving these when you are creating the research papers. Okay. Now, countries production over time. Again, the same thing. We can see how, like we had seen for journals also, which country has produced, according to different timestamps. That also we can find here. Now, most cited countries. This is an important data because that tells you where exactly you need to look for the relevant literature and probably the collaboration as well. Okay. The number of citations from USA is 5,138, followed by Spain, followed by China, UK, Italy, and rest. Okay. So from here we can understand that which are the most cited countries and which articles you should be reading, in detail to get maximum insights. Then next is documents. So again, according to documents also, we can analyze this data. Okay. So this is the document which has got the maximum global citation, right? This is about the global citation. So this tells you that this is a paper which you cannot miss. You must read that paper. You must get some references from that paper, right? Okay. Next is most locally cited documents. So local cited meaning whatever we are having in the app right now. So in the locally hosted articles, the most commonly cited article is this one. Okay. And J.M. Merigo follows on the second place. Now, most local cited references. Which are the most local cited references? See here. The most local cited references are these. So whatever articles we are having in the database right now, in those 10 years that we have selected, this one from the Scientometrics is the most locally cited reference, followed by others, right? Then reference spectroscopy. This is also important because it tells you, spectroscopy tells you about when the most impactful research has happened on this particular field. So we know that when we are talking about bibliometric analysis, the most important studies have happened during this time, So spectroscopy, if you are creating spectroscopy, suppose if you are having data for last 30-35 years. So during that time, which was the timeline when the majorly influential work was done? So that will be given by the references spectroscopy. Okay. Now let us look at the analysis which we can do using the words. The most frequent words. We know that knowing about the keywords is very important. Okay. Okay. So innovation is the most frequent word over here. Science, followed by science and impact and management and performance, because the papers hosted here are related to bibliometric analysis in management, right? Now again here you can take some options. You can take the author's keywords, okay? And then you can run it again. Okay, so if we take the author's keywords, the maximum authors have used the term bibliometrics, followed by bibliometric analysis, followed by citation analysis. You can again change it. You can just play along and see what all comes here. According to the titles, we can see. Okay. Yeah. So maximum titles are having these keywords. If you're thinking about a title which is a unique title, you can just have a look at it and then decide. Okay. Then comes word cloud. This is again very important. Let us create a word cloud. Yeah. So the word cloud is being created like this. The bigger the font, that tells you about the importance of that particular term in this particular field of study. So when we are talking about bibliometric analysis in the field of management and science, obviously these are the terms on which are the most important terms: management, science. It will tell you how many times it has been used, right? Innovation, as you hover around it, it will tell you that, isn't it? Impact, performance. Now from here, just imagine a scenario wherein you are trying to identify any new probably variable on which the work has not happened. So looking at the word cloud, you can understand that if a word is not appearing as a in the big font, it means that not much work has been done. If you are analyzing the data for last 20-30 years and you are not getting that term, it tells you that not much work has happened in that field, and you can take up that particular term or that particular variable under your study, right? Also here you can choose the author's keywords. So the map will change again. You can change it for titles. You can change it for abstracts as well, right? Even if you run this analysis for abstract, it tells you what exactly previous researchers have done, isn't it? See, okay. Now here there is one more option. You can also increase the number if you want to know about more and more terms which are used by the researchers. You can increase the number and you can again run it. Yeah. You can also, yeah, here I'll just take the author's keyword so that it shows you better. Yes. Okay. Text editing. Okay. Now for the same, yes, if you in the meantime, if you want to create a report, for whatever analysis you are doing, you can simply go on clicking on the plus, right? So it will keep creating a report for you, which you can download later on. Also, we can create a tree map which can tell us which terms have been commonly used by the researchers. So here we see that innovation is a term in the field of study, which has been maximum used by the researchers, and behavior is one which has got minimum usage, or it has not been mentioned and used by the researchers. So you can think about picking some terms from this area so that whatever you are doing will be novel, right? Also, words frequency over time, how a word has been used over time. So these are the because I'm sharing, I cannot see all the I'll just hide this. Yeah, I think we can see all the terms listed here. So for each term, how each term has been used over a time period, that also we can understand. So words frequency over time can be understood, which can tell you about the importance of that particular term related to that particular field of study. Also, it can give you some insight into the trend topics. Which are the topics which are trending now? Okay, sustainability, quality, entrepreneurship. Okay, here, yeah. The term frequency is 18, 18, 18. Here it is more. For management, it is 109. You can also zoom in and zoom out from here. Okay, just for the sake of getting a clarity on whatever is being projected on screen. Now let us understand about the next analysis, which is clustering. So clustering by coupling. It takes some time. Yes. So here, if you see, I'll just make it a little smaller so that you can see it properly. Yes, I can just zoom in. It's becoming too small. Yes. So it shows you the centrality on x-axis. We see centrality, on y-axis we see impact. Okay, centrality is mostly related to how it is, its relationship with the other studies, other studies done for the same type of topics. So centrality basically, and impact tells you about the impact of the basic coupling that we are doing here. So here again you can play along. So here the unit of analysis is document, okay, and the reference. Plus we are playing with the, we are trying to understand about the local citation related to the papers which are hosted on the app. So here you can make some changes. You can talk about the authors and you can talk about the keywords, authors keywords, and again you can run it. So which authors have mostly used which keywords, what has been the impact, and whether there is a centrality, whether there is a relationship among all the work which has been done, that is being depicted over here, right? And according to centrality and impact, whatever appears here in this box on the left hand side, here we know that the centrality is low and the impact is low. So this box is important for the authors because you know that not much work has been done. Okay, so this box basically will give you some insight about where more work is required. Okay, here basically we see that the centrality is high, there is correlation, as well as the impact is also very high. Okay, so here it is in a balance, the impact as well as the centrality is in a balance. Whatever is appearing here, we as new authors can focus onto this. There are other options also which you can choose. So you can just play along all these options because it is unending. Okay, then coming to conceptual structures. Within conceptual structures, we have one more thing which I want to show you here in the clustering itself. The network. The network is very important. Yes. See, it is showing us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, roughly 5 clusters over here. So if you really want to know about some major clusters, what we can do here is we can decrease the number of units because we are only concerned to know about the major works. Okay, so we can decrease the number of units here. Okay, and then you can run it again. The map will be, the network should be much clearer, I think. That object. Okay, so notes here. And yes, see, so this is giving you a better picture, and it tells you about which author. So the parameters that we have taken here, so it is talking about the author's keywords in the leading documents, because we have asked only for 30 units. So whichever is the leading document, what are the keywords of those authors, that you will get from here. Okay, so you can just play along this, and you can change the options, and you can find different type of clusters according to abstract, according to keywords, according to authors. You can create that. Now the next is the network, the conceptual structures. Again, here the conceptual structure is again according to centrality and impact only. Okay, I think we may just check on the network as well. It is the same network which it is showing. We can change that. If you can if you just increase the number, let us see what else it can show us. Yes. Okay. Also, you can change it for the global citation score, and then check it again. Okay. Let us take authors and references. Yes. See, it is showing you some 4 or 5 clusters, and the parameters that we have chosen here is authors and references. So which leading authors, and since we have kept the units to 50, so the 50 leading authors and the keywords that they have used, these things are insightful, right? So from here you can also change the label size and all that. Okay, from here you can change the label size. Next is also you can create tables, you can create clusters, you can know about the clusters and the frequency, what was the centrality, what was the impact for these terms, right? You can know about all that. Now for a new researcher, many times the challenge is to understand the interpretation of these outputs that we get. So here at this point I think
Madam, I think you are mute or you are on a mute mode.
how long I was mute? Just now?
Just now.
Achha.
Again mute, madam.
Why it is happening? Am I audible now?
Yes, madam.
Am I audible? Okay.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, like what I was telling is, for new authors, many times what happens is understanding these outputs becomes a challenge. So you can simply take help of AI to understand whatever output you are getting. Okay. or if you are studying the statistics in detail, that is good. Now next is network. So we can check the co-occurrence network in conceptual structures. We are done. Yeah, thematic mapping. Yeah. So we will do a thematic mapping as well, which will give us the leading themes on which the work has been done in this field. Okay, so we have seen that a lot of work has been done on innovation, science and impact, intellectual structure. So we know that the centrality for this is very high. Okay, so here if we see, these are the motor themes, these are niche themes. Okay, and here are the emerging themes. So anything which is coming near this quadrant, you can take it up. And this basically tells you about the progression of the studies which have been done based on the density as well as the centrality. So here, when you create a network, it will show you like this. Okay, you can simply download it from here. If you want to change, if you want to have less nodes, you can also do that from here. All that setting can be done. Okay, table and clusters can also be created again. You can also create a document for this, right? Okay. Thematic evolution. Now, when we take up this option of thematic evolution, it gives you output according to the time slice. Okay. If you, for example, if you have taken data for say 40 years and you want to understand about how the themes have been developed for those 10 years, in a gap of 10 years, you can do slicing accordingly and it will give you data about thematic evaluation accordingly. That is doing it. Yes. Yes, so here if you want to, here we can also do some text editing in the terms that if you want to remove some terms, right, you can also enter those terms over here. You can enter the list of those terms and synonyms. If you want to remove that, you can also do that from here. Yes, right. So since I've done only one slice, okay, because this is only 10 years data. So this tells you about the correlation of, the thicker the correlation, the much work has been done. Okay, so here we see gender and the size of the box also. So a lot of work in bibliometrics. How much? I think the incoming flow count here is 12. So the 12 themes on which bibliometrics work is done is gender, network analysis, and all these that we see here, right? So the inflow here is 12. You can also slice, since I have taken only 10 years, I'm not slicing it. But if you take huge data, you can slice it in 2-3 slices, and then you will be able to see that data as to how the evaluation has happened. Now coming to the next thing, which is factorial analysis. So factorial analysis or factorial mapping, it is basically to identify or detect the clusters, which are the major clusters or the main clusters. Okay, as you can see here, right? Now here we can parameters, we can decrease the number so that we get only something which is highly relevant. Probably we make it 20. Okay, the number of clusters, maybe we can increase it to 2, 3. Okay. See, so it is giving you 3 major clusters wherein the related studies have been done. So even if you create the topic dendrogram, it will show you how these topics, something that we are seeing here in the word map, it can be created in the form of a dendrogram also, which tells you about how these are correlated and how the studies have, the different researchers have studied this in correlation, right? Words by cluster. So this tells you what are the words which are in different clusters. So since I had taken 2, these 2, again you can identify. A lot of trial is required. You need to try many times to get a really good factor analysis done. We know that this is basically about the reduction of dimensionality. When you are doing a study and the number of variables is very high, right? You need to do factor analysis and you need to identify which are the factors which are most important for you to study. So in those scenarios, you can run factor analysis and you can identify the different clusters which have studied. So we know that some studies have used evolution, networks, co-citation as the main base of the study, whereas a huge cluster, many people have used these terms, right? Also, we can so here we can also perform correspondence analysis, multiple correspondence analysis, all that can be performed. And there are basically certain use cases, like if you are doing correspondence analysis, then the use case will be to identify the major research themes. If you are doing multiple correspondence analysis, then you can actually understand about the thematic structures, right? Also, we can have some articles by cluster. So this is not only giving you a word map. If you want to know which is the article related to this particular word, you can simply go to the article cluster and it will give you the link of the document. You can go and check the document as well, right? Okay, next is intellectual structure. So within intellectual structure, we have co-citation network, which tells us about how many co-citations have happened. Yes. So, okay, here I think we can increase the number. Method parameters can be increased here. So, okay, maybe I make it 70. Fine. Okay, so we yes. So see, this is giving you 3 clear clusters of co-citation. So we know that these authors have, co-cited the same work. So you can get a clarity about which looking at the size of the cluster, you can understand, and looking at the citation details, you can understand, right? Let us go to the table to get the So when you go to the tables or when you go to the degree plot, you also come to know about the resources to which you can refer back to if you really want to go to the works which have been cited, in this particular network. Also, for the density, this is also called density map or heat map, which tells you about the most co-cited works which appear in the middle. Okay. So also you can check the table and the degree plots. The same can be seen in degree plots as well. Okay. Also, you can create a historiograph for this. Yes. With the timestamp, a historiograph can be created. You can refer to the works as well, right? Also, you can change the number of nodes from here. Maybe you just want to get only 10. Okay. So the 10 leading ones. Here. Okay. Now coming to the social structure, collaboration network. So this gives us a clear picture about what kind of collaborations have happened, you know. And again, here you can just try out the country collaboration, the institutions collaboration can also be seen here, right? Let us understand. So we see among which institutions the collaboration has happened. Okay. We can also check among which countries the collaboration has happened. Okay. We can also change the method parameters. The number of nodes here is 50. Let us make it 30 to get a clear picture. And the walk trap. Okay. Normalization association. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. Similarly, you can, if you want to increase it, you can also increase it if you want to. And sometimes we can also create an info map from here. Their clustering algorithms are given. So all the clustering algorithms will not be applicable everywhere. So you need to try it out. Sometimes it doesn't work. I mean, some formats will not work. So if you want an info map, it will be like this. Okay. Similarly, for authors also, you can see the info maps. Okay. Right. Okay. Now, countries collaboration world map. Yeah. This will again give a very clear picture because so it tells you which country is collaborating with which other countries. So we see there is a lot of collaboration between USA and China. The link is very thick, isn't it? And we also see that there is link between USA and Australia. India is having collaboration with USA as well. Okay. So this will give you, you can also get it in the form of a table. Okay. With the frequency mentioned over here. And as I told you, you can create a report also here, whatever you want, and then this can be exported, right? Among clustering conceptual structures. Now, let us once again look at this. So whatever we have seen here on, you know, in the Biblioshiny app interface, the output is very fascinating, but everything depends on the quality of data that you have collected. So the initial focus should be on data collection, and now because of one nation, one subscription, we all can access Scopus, Web of Science, and we can get the quality papers and articles for us. So my suggestion is that if you really want to create any bibliometric paper, the first focus should be on getting the data in place, as much data as you can collect. At least for last 5-10 years you must collect, because then only the output would be good. And we initially talked about creating bibliometric papers. So there are basically two ways in which you can do that. The first is obviously related to your field of study. You can create a bibliometric paper. And the second is that you can just check on those journals uh, which are, you know, mostly having an open access. Now there is no question of open access after this one nation one subscription, but still you can identify any journal which has been publishing religiously on a certain type of topic, which is a dedicated journal, and you can download all the papers for last 5 or 10 years, all the papers, whether it is related to your area or not. You can download all the papers, and then you can run a bibliometric analysis and then submit it to that particular journal. So they will be highly interested, because most of the references, all the things will be coming from that particular journal only. So that is second way of creating a bibliometric analysis paper. Journals are really happy to publish any paper which is telling them about how they have been doing over years, right? So that in that way also you can create a bibliometric paper. So looking at the data extraction, which I did not discuss in detail, because I feel that most of us are already researchers. We know how to use the database, how to use the filters, and how we can, using Boolean operators and or not, how we can extract data properly. Because when we are extracting data, as I told you, extraction of data is very important. So the ideal way is to write down the keywords, make a list of keywords, make a list of all the synonyms, right? And then you can start downloading the data by using Boolean search. You should use and or not, and then with all permutations and combinations you should be searching the documents, so that you are not missing out on any document which is of importance to you, right? So extraction of data here also, if you see here also, they have explained it in detail, okay, on Bibliometric's website. Okay, they have explained the data, how you can actually use the search field. So it can be title, it can be topic, it can be keywords. As I told you, the Boolean operators can be used, or and not. Okay, so that you're not missing out on anything which is important for your field of study. Okay, and then you can also choose the type of resources, whether you are looking only for journal articles, or maybe even the book chapters. All those things you can just select or deselect according to your choice. So accordingly you can download the papers. Do check the formats which I have shared here, the format which is required. I'll just show you once again, because this is very important. Yes, this one. Most of us would be downloading data either from Web of Science or Scopus. Okay, so make sure that you are downloading the file either in plain text if it is from Web of Science, and from Scopus it has to be BibTeX. The option is available there. So as soon as you click the download, it will just show up which format of file you want. You can just click that format and you can download the files accordingly. The basic quality of output that we get here in Biblioshiny depends completely on the quality of data that we are having. So that is why I just thought I should remind you about that. So with this, I think I have explained most of the things. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. If there is any challenge in the installations, you people can tell me if you have any challenges in installation. All of you were able to install it properly. We can use the chat box. This is, yeah, somebody is asking, it is giving a summary from how many papers? This is giving us a summary from 769 papers. Because here, again, I'll show you, I'll again show you here. See, when we come to the filter, see here, it will show you 769 papers out of 898. Now let us just change that. All the results are going to change. If I take the data for maybe last 5 years only. Now, if I apply, see, it is now only showing 609 entries, not 769, right? And if now you will do the analysis again, all the result will be different. All the results will be different now. Okay? 609, right? Okay. So how much data you are selecting here, that will depend on your research objective, whether you are trying to look at the data, the whole data, maybe for last 30, 40, 50 years, which will be humongous data. I will not recommend you to do that. You should not take data for more than 20 years, because then the processing will be slow, and even the maps, that the network maps or the plots that you will create over here will not be very clear, because ultimately we need to find the highlights, right? So it does not make any sense to take data for 30, 40 years at once. Okay. Okay. Any other query if you have? Comparison, as in where exactly did you see the comparison? The comparison is given from the selected papers. Like earlier it was 769, now it will be 609, right? Any other queries? If anybody is facing a challenge, you can let me know. Are there any questions? Or any other option which you want me to show you again, or which you want me to explain again? Okay, so I think
Hello, ma'am. I have one question. So, like, how
yes,
many
Ankita, ma'am.
minimum papers we have to download? Minimum paper we must be download so that we get good result from
Minimum
the
should be at least
research.
100. Yes, at least 100 relevant papers. Yes.
So, with the help of 100 relevant paper, we will
But
be able to find out the good result, right? With
absolutely,
the help of
absolutely.
Biblioshiny. With the help of
Yes,
Biblioshiny.
yes, you can
So,
definitely.
first, yeah, okay. So first we have to download all the papers and then we have to import data, right?
Right, right.
So in
You
this
have to.
way, according to our, okay, ma'am. So that was my
Yes,
question. Thank you so
yes.
much.
Yeah, thank you. Anyone else has a query? If anybody has a query, you can raise your hand. So I think Dr. Neha, you are there? Neha ma'am, are you there? So there is something in the chat. Okay, so I think we can wind up now. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. If you have any queries, you can let me know. I'm giving my personal email ID over here. In case if anybody, because most of the times I have seen that people face problems during installations, but they hesitate to, come forward and let us know. So I can just share my email ID over here. You can reach out to me later on.
Thank you, Dr. Avelina, for the wonderful session. We really learned a lot throughout the session today. I would now like to open the house for any kind of questions you would ask to Dr. Avelina on the topic she discussed today. Thank you so much, all the participants for joining. I'm reading the messages. Thank you so much and most welcome. We have another session aligned, but before that, if we can have a few questions, I would request Dr. Avelina to stay put for 5 more minutes.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, in
I'm
case
here.
we have any questions. Okay, so Madam has given her email ID in the chat box. Even if you feel like asking any more questions or any queries, she'll be most happy to answer your queries even after the session ends. Thank you so much, Dr. Avelina. It was an honor having you. And we would really thank you from the behalf of the Department of Management Studies, all the faculty, staff, our head and director, Dr. Premasish Roy. Thank you so much, Dr. Avelina.
Thank you, Dr. Neha. I also want to thank Dr. Premashish Roy sir and Dr. Mona Sinha madam for giving me this opportunity. I hope I was able to add some value. In case if anyone has any query, please do not hesitate to get back to me. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Indeed, it was a very good program. I think there are a lot of participants. I find it was really good learning session. Maybe many participants would look in further for maybe hands-on while doing this, because when there are many PhD scholars are there, usually what happened in a doctoral thesis, you have to have some standardized 300 pages, 350 pages. So literature review, as you said, that 60% of the thesis covers up. So maybe with these graphs and the charts that would be extended one, and it would make the literature review really reach. It was I was also closely following you, so it was indeed a very nice session. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Before
sir.
everybody leaves the session, Dr. Avelina, Dr. Roy, I would request all the participants to please put their cameras on for a group photo, please. I would request the participants who are able to please put your cameras on so that we can have a group photo. Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody. The group photo has been done. Now we again rejoin at 2 o'clock for another insightful session by Dr. Hippu. I would request you to break for lunch right now. We'll join at 2 again. You can join using the same link. Thank you so much. Let's meet at 2 o'clock again.
Dr. Neha, can I just talk about 2 minutes?
Yes, sure, sir. Sure, please.
Since all the participants over here, I will say that Dr. Hippu's session is of different flair. It's very important. He talks about how to write. The writing part, the language is very important in the Scopus Index journal. What should be the language? How to penetrate for Q1 and Q2? So I think it would be again an interesting session. Please don't miss it. I would request all of you to be there. See you at 2 o'clock.
Thank you, sir. Let's meet at 2 o'clock again. Thank you all. We'll be leaving the meeting now.
Thank you, sir.